The patriotism of Russian citizens in 2024 will cost the federal budget 40 billion rubles. This is almost 4 times more than the authorities of the aggressor country spent in 2022, in the first year of a full-scale war. Within the project on patriotic education of youth, they finance the festival Tavrida, World Festival of Youth, All-Russian Movement of School Children, UNARMY, and other projects that position themselves as programs on youth, tourism or multilateral development. In reality, children are taught to use weapons and prepared for further service in the occupation army.
There are 2 federal projects related to ideological work: patriotic education and use of Russia. In 2024 there will be presidential elections, during which special attention is paid to ideological work with young people, so the increase in spendings on this field is not accidental. From the publication in Verstka, with reference to an interlocutor close to the State Duma of the Russian Federation.
The Russians are particularly active in their ideological work in the temporarily occupied Ukrainian territories. Under the pretext of re-education, they deprive Ukrainian children of their identity.
All children who attend general education schools under the programs of the Russian Federation are required to undergo this military training. We were horrified by this list of items purchased for children in schools: Kalashnikov rifles, ammunition, cartridges, all of this in order to make children full-fledged soldiers, and all this is backed up, of course, by ideological education.
In 2024, the Russian government plans to spend about $110 billion on defense, or more precisely on the war against Ukraine. This is almost a third of the total state expenditures of Russia. In addition, the amount is 2/3 higher than in 2023.
Putin has 2 priorities: war and power. That's why the budget process now works in such a way that policymakers first make sure that junta gets what it needs for the war, and then address the rest of the budget. And to do all that, they constantly look for new sources to scrape money together, said Konstantin Sonin, an economist and professor at the University of Chicago, from the publication in Financial Times.
Spending on pensions and social payments next year will also be record-breaking, but under the conditions of sanctions, foreign capital outflow and falling energy resource prices, Russia will hardly manage to earn as much as it has planned. The budget is unrealistic, economists say. On paper, everything adds up only through manipulation and falsification. In reality, the large spendings on the social sector are nothing more than an attempt to appease voters before the upcoming presidential election.
The envisaged payments are not economically justified. Increase in the minimum wage, increase in social payments, all of this is just for elections. But the budget has no possibilities to fulfill it. This means that immediately after the 2024 elections, other decisions will be taken to reduce these payments that are accrued. So this is a political budget to stay in power.
The source of budget revenues will be the Russian population, analysts say. After the election, social assistance and spending on medicine and education will most likely be cut. Instead, taxes will be tripled, new export duties will be introduced, and the cost of public utilities will increase. Reported by Sergey Kulas, Valeria Nakapelova, UATV News.